The dummy sat up in the makeup room, so I'm constantly looking over at my face. I didn't enjoy the experience of being in its presence, let's say.
Crazy facts about the CIA. During the Vietnamese Buddhist crisis in the early 1960s, CIA agents noticed that Buddhists protesting against the Diem regime would stand strong in the face of police violence and even tear gas, but they would stop protesting when the rains came. Noticing this reaction to the weather, the agency then deployed US aircrafts rigged with silver iodide and seeded the skies over demonstrations. The rains made the demonstrations stop, and Operation Popeye was born. Between 1967 and 1972, the secret operations deployed aircraft to seed specific areas along the Ho Chi Minh Trail, with the intention of softening road surfaces, causing landslides and washing out rivers, and generally disrupting the movement of soldiers and resources into South Vietnam, as well as providing cover for US bomb deployments. The operation extended the monsoon season and is estimated to have increased rainfall over parts of Vietnam by 30%. The program was revealed to the public in 1971, and this discovery would lead to the banning of environmental modification by the end of the decade.
My kids were sitting here eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch, or maybe their favorite, Lucky Charms. Now, I was a contractor for 22 years, and we used to do paint prep, do cleaning and things like that. And I'm sitting there reading a box, and I noticed that it says it contains trisodium phosphate. This, TSP, let's see. Trisodium phosphate, harmful if swallowed, eye irritant, skin irritant. If ingested, call poison control. Poison control. Let's see here. Trisodium phosphate. And it's not way down here with the vitamins. It's way up here. That's on Lucky Charms. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. We've got Star Wars, trisodium phosphate. This is a carcinogen that we're feeding our kids, and General Mills is putting it in all of their stinking cereal. If I sprinkled trisodium phosphate on my kids' cereal, if I put this on there, I would go to prison for poisoning my children. But yet, they're putting it in our cereals for our kids to eat.
Cloning has already started.
It has already started?
Back in the day, it used to cost $50,000. Who knows how much it costs now? If you ever notice a rapper first, everything's fine. Then something goes wrong. They get out of line. They end up in jail. They come back looking totally different. And it's up to us if we're going to let them play in our face or if we're going to go, that ain't him. And then speaking of they cloned Tyrone, isn't Jamie Foxx part of that?
He came out looking, they were like, where's the tattoo?
Where's his tattoo on the back of his head?
They showed a picture of him.
He was in like McDonald's or Wendy's or some damn where. It looked like the clone was just testing itself out. Like, yeah, all right, I'm out. Let's see what's going on. I'm happy to be in the world. It seemed like the clone was literally testing himself out. But my thing is, where was the tattoo in the back of his head? And it just makes you wonder, like, do they do this shit to, like, play with us, to, like, see if we know, to see if we still dumb, to see how many of us are dumb, to see how many of us are brainwashed so they can know how many more to continue to brainwash?
That movie's awesome.
Okay.
I'm
a big Conjuring fan. Yeah.
That movie is so fucked up. That movie messed me up for my whole life.
How do you explain that all of a sudden during the filming of the movie, mysterious bruises show up on you?
All right. Okay. Let's jump into this story, because this story, it's so weird. And this is truly like the root of why I'm so scared of that movie. So, you know, in the story, when the mom gets possessed, she gets all these bruises on her. And so during the filming of those particular scenes, I started having a lot of bruises show up on my body in bizarre places, like on my stomach, on my chest, like what? And so the makeup ladies thought I was stealing their fake bruises and like playing a joke on them. And I was like, why would I do that? I'm not doing that. That's crazy. They didn't believe me. They tried to take my real bruises off with like rubbing alcohol and oil. And I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm not lying. I went to the doctor. I got a couple blood tests because they told me it looked like it could potentially be early signs of leukemia. I was so freaked out. I mean, by the way, I'm 12. Like, what doctor says that to a 12-year-old? What kind of bedside manner is that? So I get these blood tests. All of a sudden, I'm told that I have this blood thinning condition called ITP, where basically most of my red platelets drained from my body mysteriously. I'd never had a blood problem in the past. I've never had a blood problem since then. No one in my family has that. So I was at risk of needing a blood transfusion, and they were like scared to even let me work. And because if I like touched something, I could get a bruise there. It was weird. And so I had to go to the hospital every day, twice a day, before and after work, to get my blood taken to check my platelets and to try and rebuild my platelets on my own by taking a lot of iron. And they were just creeping up for the duration of the shoot. Shooting finishes, I go home, and I still have to keep up with this bullshit. And then when I came home, my platelets were completely fine. Like, I was back up to the normal numbers, and I've never since had a trace of that disorder.
So no
ever.
wonder you're freaked out by ghosts.
Are you kidding me? Like, I was just like, you know what? This is it for me. Like, I've had a good run. I'm 12 years old. I'm just gonna, get killed by a ghost now. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
That is such a weird story, and no one has an explanation for it.
I feel so freaked out by it. It's like so scary. The other day I looked up a photo of the witch from the movie, because that's the real name of the woman. And I felt so scared typing her name into my web browser. I was like, she's watching me. She's going to kill me.
By the way,
plastic cups that you get your coffee in at Starbucks. Let's talk about those.
A paper cup, by nature, should absorb water. If it's not absorbing water, then that means there must be a barrier in between the paper and the liquid. And that barrier is polyethylene plastic. A study found that in 15 minutes of contact with hot liquids leached 25,000 microplastic particles into your cup. But no one's questioning this. No one's really thinking about it, because it's just part of our daily lives.
Are we very good at metabolizing plastics?
No, plastic is a foreign body. It's a foreign particle. In fact, it'll break down into nanoplastics. And nanoparticles in general have the issue of being able to penetrate cell membranes. So it can penetrate very deeply into the cell. It can cause
Shared about the plastic.
inflammation. Your body doesn't know how to deal with it. It's a foreign object. So you'll get the inflammatory response when you encounter these. But to make things worse, the microplastics themselves are a foreign body, but they also release plasticizer chemicals when they're in contact with your body. And they can also carry toxic chemicals into your body.
The fact that they can basically invade and integrate into our cells, and you are what you eat. Are we turning into real life Barbie and Ken dolls?
We could be, because there's actually microplastics that have been detected in human lung, blood, and placenta. And who knows how much of this is getting into babies. Are babies being born with plastic in their bodies? I would guesstimate yes, just based on the evidence.
You need to stop buying fake food at Walmart. If the corn syrup and sugar being the first two ingredients doesn't bother you enough, they're putting traces of tilapia in your fake food. Do you understand? Traces of a fake fish in your fake food. Watch this video.
When was the last time we checked in on Great Value brand at Walmart? Because I have some concerns.
No, because I thought y'all were screwing with me. But just wait. Unopened bag of Great Value marshmallows may contain traces of tilapia. Then I go to my syrup because I saw a comment about syrup. May contain traces of anchovies. Now I gotta deep clean my pantry because I need to know what other Great Value items are unhinged. Y'all. Not only is there anchovies in my damn mashed potatoes, but there's trout, whitefish, and clams.
Stop eating
This
fake
is ridiculous.
Certain kinds of music with the backbeats, with the accent on the wrong beats. For instance, I want to give our viewers an example of what I'm talking about. If we are listening to a song, and I'm going to use a simple song like Jesus Loves Me, and I'm just going to say, Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. The emphasis is on the one beat, okay? It's more of a march. Bum, 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 right? And now we can also move the accent. We can duplicate that and put it on the one and on the three. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Jesus loves me, this I know. Kind of like a child would sing it. It's innocent, it's on the 1 and 3. All we have to do is shift the accent to the 2, or to the 2 and the 4, or just the 3. Sounds kind of confusing, but it would be like this. Jesus loves me, this I know. Oh, for the Bible tells me so. Oh, little ones to him belong. Oh, all of a sudden you have what we would call like a rap or a hip hop feel. It's the same word, same type feeling of the same type of melody or whatever, but all we've done is move the accent. The moment we move the accent from the 1 or 3, it becomes a syncopated beat. Syncopation, by all occult experts around the world agree, syncopation is the source of occult power in pagan worship services.
Really?
Oh yeah. So this is profound to the Christian. Now we're in our homes, we're in our cars listening to Christian music that has all these beats and syncopated things in it, and we're going, oh, this is great, this is wonderful. What it actually does, just like it does to ancient voodoo worshippers and modern day voodoo worshippers in their religious services, is it short circuits the frontal moral lobe. It gets them to a place to where they can become possessed. It's called the place of the crossroads between the physical and the spiritual. And now in the church, we have this thing going on, and we call it the moving of the Holy Spirit. That's pretty profound thinking.
That's pretty profound, yeah.
Okay, so all of a sudden, we're getting our mind going, and we're getting, not our mind going, we're getting our emotions going. We're taking that frontal moral lobe and we're casting it off, and whatever the preacher's preaching goes in without interpretation. God said no. Reason with me. So I know right there, that is not of God, it's of the devil. Because the devil doesn't want us to reason out who he is, because if we really reasoned it out, what he stood for, and what he's trying to do for us, we would run from him.
Exactly.
But because we're adopting his things, and we're embracing his stuff, if you will, and his music, we run to him and run away from God. Is it working?
Yeah, it's working.
It's very powerful. And so the reality is, yes, music can profoundly influence our characters. And so music thus becomes a very moral issue. If we're listening to the right stuff, wonderful, it leads me to God. And it leaves my thinking intact. If we're listening to the wrong stuff, bye-bye. Prefrontal cortex is actually what it's called. The front of the brain, where your character is, where your will is, where you want to obey, where your reasoning powers are. That's bye-bye. In fact, some of the music rips it out, spits it in half, tears it in half, and stomps it on the ground. It's incredible what it does. And we just sit there in an alpha pattern, whatever the music is teaching, whatever now listen, not just the lyrics, I said the music is teaching. Because people go, oh, well, this music, it has Jesus lyrics and talks about Jesus. Okay, that's the greatest claim out there in CCM, the Contemporary Christian Music Movement. The problem is, music itself has a motive. Music itself has an attitude. Music itself has body language. So I could say, I love Jesus. Now, what did you think when I said that?
That you love Jesus.
Why?
The way you said it.
It was the way, exactly. It wasn't what I said. Yeah. Those words are pretty, a good clue, but it was the way. Because I could also say this, I love Jesus.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say about that?
Well, you don't like him very well.
You're saying something's up here. Why? Because the motive of my body language, it betrayed the words. The music that we listen to can betray the Jesus lyrics.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so what if we are listening to music that has all these driving beats and it's attached to a genre of rebellion, sex, drugs, and rock and roll? It undermines the Jesus message.
Absolutely.
And everybody knows that except for the Christians.
Well, yeah.
It's incredible.
Bro, cop trying to chase me, nigga. Like dumbass.
Like some chemical smell. You'll smell it. Look, this is no and he threw flakes in it. Mommy,
Put
this
the
is
stuff
no
down and then
car.
you throw this. Sorry.
Holy shit!
Sorry. I'm here to pick up something. Oh, yeah, like I said, I'd been with the CIA for a few years. And then one morning, I got ordered to report to a military base. And I was briefed on something called Operation Water the Country. And when I got...
For those who don't know what that is, can you explain what that is?
Oh, sure. It's a code name we use for the process of removing all the living birds. They used poison gas dropped from airplanes.
Now, after the living birds were taken out of the picture, what was the next step?
Well, they were replaced with fake birds. They were electronic decoys. They could watch people without them knowing it.
What was your role in all of this? Like, how do you know this information?
I was in charge of destroying the evidence.
Jana Mendez was chief of disguises for the CIA for 27 years. She was so confident in her ability to disguise herself that she decided to wear one of her masks to meet President George H.W. Bush at the Oval Office. She did a whole presentation on the CIA's advanced disguise technology while wearing one of the disguises, and he didn't notice a thing. He was sitting like 2 feet from her. She even told him she was wearing a disguise, and he got up and walked around her, and he still couldn't tell what about her appearance was fake. And remember, Bush Sr. was former director of the CIA, so when she finally peeled her entire face off, he was apparently thrilled. All of these photos used to be classified, but now they're allowed to be circulated, I think because everybody knows this is just a really good story.
Who's there? Fuck. Hello?
Everyone, though, has an audio bug in their pocket. Everybody has an encrypted communication device in their pocket.
Everybody, that's right.
Everybody has a miniature camera in their pocket. And
Are you yourself, since you were in that world, are you paranoid about PCs, computers, iPhones, smartphones, the camera on the phone? Are you paranoid about it because you were in the world? Because you know more than we do if that stuff is used.
I pay attention to what I put online. I don't bank online, for instance. I'm not sure you can save yourself anymore because your bank is online. If you're not, they are, and they could still get hacked. The thing that makes me paranoid is Alexa. I got to tell you, I have Alexas all over my house. She's doing my window blinds. She's doing my lampshade. She's telling me the weather. So I'm like, I wonder what else Alexa's doing. And a silly form of paranoia,
But it's normal. It's a lot of people. I have a 32-year-old employee at my home office. His name is Mario. He started off getting everybody on Alexa, and the other day he's like, I'm not using my Alexa anymore because she's listening to what I'm doing. I'm paranoid, so he threw away his Alexa. And this is a 32-year-old guy that's paranoid about Alexa, so I don't think you're alone there.
every once in a while, my Alexa kind of spurts out a comment that has nothing to do with anything. I didn't say anything to her. I'm walking by, and she just says something. I'm like, so it's kind of a joke, but yeah, it's a sign of what's coming.
Everything on the ground has a contract and has an expiration date. We don't sell the soul to the devil, by the way. There people say, I sold my soul to the devil. No, you sell your allegiance to the devil. The devil makes you believe that you sell your soul because he makes you believe once you sell it, you can't get it back. So that's the great deception. The devil understands one thing. He has an expiration date on you because after he's done with you, he can't use you anymore. He's taking you out. You see the people in Hollywood? They die of stuff killing these people, either alcohol, drugs. Even the guy from Batman, the guy that did the Joker, his life was cut short. Why? Because his contract expired. He didn't want to go to the higher level. He had a daughter that the devil wanted. He couldn't give her the daughter. He didn't want to give the daughter, so the devil said, so you have to die. So he took the place.
You got into School of the Arts? Well, I don't know. We get conspiracy deep. I don't know. You can poke me if I get weird, but I got put in this program at the Gifted program. Mm-hmm. Gifted and Talented Education Program. Do you want to talk about that? I was in that program. Okay. No wonder. Yeah. That was started by the CIA, the Central. What? Yes, bro. It's part of a MK Ultra. Google this right now and call me a sucker, bro. Oh, he's Googling it right now. Yo, were you in that program? I was in the gay program. Oh, shit. There's a reason who else in this fucking... So that's the thing, bro. They identified us as highly intelligent, and so what happened is... because it was all based on state standardized testing scores. Or just how weird-ass behavior teachers would rat on us. Shit, bruh. Yo, because I tested super high IQ, but I had a learning disability. Dude, take me serious, I swear to God. It's a Central Intelligence operation that's came out of MK Ultra to identify people like us who might serve them, or people that might be a problem to stop us.
Just when you thought you've seen it all, you come across another fruit or vegetable that's been made. These have been made. What are these? Lemonade apples? Meet your new favorite apple. It's telling you right here. Go to lemonadeapple.com, man. In case you didn't know, Granny Smiths are made. Also highly bred up for their size and sugar content. Organic or not, these things have been created, just like your lemonade apples. Grapefruits have been made. Lemons have been made. And now they're seedless. Pineapples were made. These bananas were made from baby bananas that used to be found in nature. Garlic was made. Those who get mad about nothing being real, onions, God made. Limes, if there's no seeds and they're this big, they were made. Tomatoes, if they're this big, they've been made. That way. Potatoes were made. They were made with a chemical called starch. You ever heard of it? Raises your blood sugars. Causes a bunch of issues in your body.
Can you smile?
I will do anything for you.
Thank you.